made it. We're just coming into California here, coming up on the bug check, the agricultural inspection. And yeah, just like I figured, as soon as I come into California, I have problems. I pull up to the bug check here, and the officer, she says, where's your paperwork? And I hand the paperwork that I had, and she goes, no, I need better paperwork than this. I said, what kind of paper you need? And she says, well, I need the manifest that shows what's in the truck. I'm like, oh, well, that'd be in the back of the trailer, so I have to pull off to the side here. And here you'll hear her talking here in just a second. But anyway, I had to pull off, and they open the doors, and they get inside, and they check the whole thing out. And what they're looking for was watercraft, like a kayak or something like that. I didn't have that. Well, okay, well, what about outdoor gear, like patio furniture and stuff like that? Like, how would I know what's in here? So she goes down through the list and doesn't say anything. She starts telling me, so what they're looking for is the Gypsy Moth. The Gypsy Moth, I've heard the word Gypsy Moth. I have no idea what it is, but apparently it's a bug that gets on trees and kills the tree somehow, ruins the bark or some, I don't know, the larvae, I don't know. But anyway, it's just another thing. You go to California, it's just another headache, you know. And if you'll see, after I get through here, you'll hear her talk here in just a second, but just past this green truck, you'll see off to the right, there's a highway patrol. Pay attention to him here in a second.
Household furniture. Household furniture. It's inside the back of the trailer. They always lock it inside the back. No. What? Oh, I wouldn't know about that. The doors were open when I got there. I pulled away from the dock, they closed it and they sealed it. It's a metal seal, bolt metal seal. Not a padlock. Just a seal, but you can use the with the bolt metal.
So she has me pull off to the side here, and as you can see, there's a highway patrol sitting up there, and just as soon as I pull over and park, he gets out of his car. Now, I don't know, if she would have said go ahead and go, I'd have probably gotten past him before he gets out of his car, but here, as soon as I pop my brake, you'll see his door come open. The truck behind me gets pulled over. He gets a DOT inspection instead of me. And I hate to laugh, but you'll see right here why I'm laughing. Anyway. So I'm getting my paperwork together and getting ready to walk back here. But here, he's standing out here by the road getting ready to wave this next truck driver in. And guess who it is? That's right. So anyway, no, I shouldn't laugh. That's some poor driver in there. Yeah, anyway. So I'm there for about 15 minutes. And I come back out and get in the truck. And Swift is gone. And I figured as soon as I got in the truck, the highway patrol would get out and wave me in or something, you know. But he doesn't. I get on the road here, and I get to rolling, and all's good. See, she said that the, doggone it, what was it? Where it came from up in Minneapolis, that county wasn't on an infested area. They have a map showing all the different infested areas with Gypsy Moth, and that wasn't one of the areas. So that stuff can come into California. But if it was coming from another area that had the Gypsy Moth, she said, we could probably give you a ticket. Well, not probably. She said, we could give you a ticket, and we could turn, you know, the load around, make you go back to Arizona and, I guess, fumigate it or something. I don't know. But anyway, it's just, you know, here we go. You know, just typical stuff in California. I mean, nowhere else in the world cares, but California, I mean, a quick little story on California ag stations. My mom and dad, years ago, they were in their motorhome. They were in a pickup and a fifth wheel, you know, and they were coming across Yuma, Arizona. And Dad pulls up to the California bug check, and they were going over to California to do something. And they pull up to the bug check, and he's eating an orange. He's actually sitting there eating an orange while he pulls up. And they say, you have any produce? And Dad looks at it and goes, nope. And they go, okay, and let him go. Now, wait a minute. He had an orange in his hand. Why didn't they make a big deal about that? It just, I don't understand. They pick and choose different things. So So anyway, this here is in on I-15 going south at the Cajon scales. Right there's the antenna up above for the transponders for your truck. I don't have one of those transponders, Easy Pass. I don't have one of those. So, but anyway, the scale's closed and everything. But as we're coming up, the traffic, it was just terrible. Why going down? You know, it's 4 lanes of traffic. You know, that one lane is merging in right here. You'd think, okay, after this lane merges in, everything speed back up because there's no more ramps from here on down. You know, and everybody just tinker all the way down this stupid thing. And I just, it's just frustrating. They're just, you know. The whole LA basin, too many people. So anyway, we're coming up on the scale right now, and right off to the right, and you'll see the building. And I thought, somebody told me that they were tearing that out and they weren't going to have a scale here anymore. Well then, on this day when I'm driving, I called a friend of mine, and he goes, no, that truck caught fire. I guess they had the wildfires out here, and it got up there and it burnt the building down. And they were rebuilding it. Well, while they were rebuilding it, a friend of mine drove by, and he thought that they were tearing it down. And this other friend says, no, they were just rebuilding it. So it's back up in business. They're not open that often, but, you know, they're there. And the one good thing about them is they don't have a lot of land right there, so they can't put in a huge inspection bays and all, they can't put a super coupe in there. So it's just basically a scale, and they, check 1 or 2 trucks at a time, kind of thing. Anyway, I'm going down the hill here, and there's all this Jake. Somebody, what was his name? Haphazard. He said, I could do without all the music and everything. I'd like to listen to the truck and the engine and everything. So I'm going to be quiet here while I'm going down the hill and let you hear a little bit of the Jake brake stuff. I'm pedaling the accelerator because the Jake will actually slow me down, and once I get down, start to slow down, I push the accelerator just ever so slightly to kick the Jakes off, and that lets it gain speed again. Because I'm going down a good little hill here. It's not 6%, this is probably about 4% right in here, but it's a good little hill, and so I'm using the Jakes, but I'm only using it when I need to slow down when I feel I'm getting over speed, So I'll use, instead of using the service brakes, the brake pads, I'll let the engine brake slow me down. And then this right here is the split, the 215 split coming down into San Bernardino. If you were to split off to the left there, and this is the truck bypass right here, but those other lanes on the left there's a fork in the road. And if you split one way, you go to San Bernardino. You split the other way, you go down toward Ontario. And so that's where I'm heading down 15 down toward Ontario. All right, now this here, I'm down kind of through a lot of the nonsense traffic going across the 60 and all the way over. This is on the 605, and I'm heading south, getting ready to go into shortly. I'm going to be getting off down in Santa Fe Springs, California. That's where this trailer is going to. And while I was on the way out here, they found another load for me, and guess what? It's loading in the exact same spot. I'm going to drop in this yard, and I'm going to pick up a trailer in this yard going back to Tennessee. So going back to Laverne, Tennessee, which is the Nashville area. So anyway, while I'm putting along here, waiting to get to this off-ramp, I'm going to answer a few questions people have had lately. Going out to California, this is an 04 truck with a pre-emission motor, and a lot of people stand, I didn't know you could take a pre-emission truck to California. Aren't you illegal out there? Well, apparently not. Apparently a few years ago or whatever, President Trump passed, I don't know if he passed an order of some type, or he just basically went out to California and shook his finger at him. I don't know, but anyway, CARB said that if you don't have a California legal truck, you can't come in their state. And Trump went out there and said, hey, no, that's infringing on interstate commerce. And if this truck, if a truck is legal in its home state, which this truck is based out of Oklahoma, permit and tag wise, and it's legal in California, or in Oklahoma, it's legal in Oklahoma, therefore California has no say-so whether they can come in. Now, California can regulate their own trucks. If you live in California and have a truck out there, they can tell you what they will register, but they can't tell other states what they can and cannot register. And because this is interstate commerce, they can't prevent those trucks from coming in their state. Now, that's what I've been told, okay? I don't know, I'm not a lawyer on all this, and I haven't really read it verbatim for myself, but that's what I've been told by several friends and by the company I'm working with. So, another thing is the CARB and all that, the Highway Patrol doesn't care about emissions. Okay, they don't have the scales. They're not out for emissions. I actually got that from a Highway Patrol years ago. He says we don't care about the CARB. We're emissions. We're interested in safety. Brakes and tires and airlines and logbooks and those kind of things. We don't really care about the emissions thing. If they want to enforce that, they have to get somebody else to do it, which they did. They got CARB. They drive around in their little Priuses and drive into parking lots and look for trucks that had, pre-emission trucks, and then they give them a ticket, And what I always understood about CARB is they're not allowed to pull you over on the highway. But if you're already pulled over, let's say I was sitting in this parking lot over here, they could go up to you there and check your truck, and if they say it's not legal, then they could ticket you. Okay. Anyway, I'm pulling down the street here, another couple blocks. I'll be pulling into the customer, and when I get in there, they tell me I got to go over to another yard, drop it, and the other trailer's over at that other yard. So basically, I just go in here and check in with their main office, but it's a real small yard. So they have me take the trailer over and drop it somewhere else, and that's where I pick up the other trailer. All right, another couple questions here. Somebody asked me about the hood ornament. When am I going to get my hood ornament on it? Well, I can't put the hood ornament on by myself. I could do I've been waiting for somebody smaller than me to get up inside the hood. You tilt the hood open, you got to crawl over the engine, over the radiator to get down inside the hood to put a wrench on those bolts. Okay, well, I can get in there if I had to. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to find somebody else to do that part for me. Somebody smaller, more agile. But even if I did get in there and take the bolts off, I can't hold the hood ornament on the outside. I can't be on the outside holding it and on the inside putting the bolts in. It's a two-man job. So I've been kind of waiting until the right time. I will eventually get it on there. So don't beat me up too bad about that. So as you can see, this yard is extremely tight and they're full of trucks and everything, and they don't have a lot of place. This Volvo here is backing up. He's going to get on the scale and weigh his truck out. So anyway, and then if you notice the camera, the image is kind of fluctuating back and forth, and I don't know. I think that has something to do with digital cameras. When they vibrate slightly, because this truck is vibrating, and I think that has something to do with it. I don't really understand that, but so anyway, I go in and I drop the trailer and I go grab the other one, and here I am getting ready to get on the highway. This is getting on I-5 south in Santa Fe Springs. Actually, I'm closer to La Mirada. Anyway, I'm getting ready to get on southbound I-5, and at this area, it's really running more of a west or east-southeast. Okay, it's kind of a real sharp angle there, south-southeast, east-southeast. I'm going to run it down here about 5 or 10 miles, and then get on Highway 91 and take 91 all the way out to Riverside. And once I get out to Riverside, I'll be getting on 60 and run 60 up to the top of the hill there at Beaumont, and then just past Beaumont is the Banning Scales. So that's where I'll be heading. All right, other questions here. What else we got? Oh, pay. Somebody asked me about pay. Do I get paid by the mile or do I get paid percentage? Yes, I get paid. In a way, I get paid both ways. The customer pays by mileage, okay? And right here, people might think I'm getting really close to that car there. You gotta remember, this camera's sitting low down on the dash, so it makes the hood look a lot longer, and that car is still about 40 feet ahead of me. Doesn't look like it, but he is, okay? Anyway, the customer gets paid or charged by the mile from Choice. They charge them by the mile, and I don't know what the exact rate is. I mean, I could figure it out, but anyway, they have a set rate, and then they pay a set rate for the line haul, and then they also pay a fuel surcharge. Now, I get 100% of the fuel surcharge, which right now is, I think, around 45 cents a mile, or 45 cents per mile. So anyway, we got a fuel surcharge. It's no different than if you get on an airline, and the airline has a fuel surcharge. So it's a $150 airline ticket and then a $40 fuel surcharge. It's to help them pay for the high cost of fuel. Okay. I could get into all why that is. There's a huge reason here. I'm getting on 91. There's a huge reason why they do the fuel surcharge thing, and it's a whole nother video. I think I've already covered it once, a few years back, on fuel surcharges and why they do it. But it's too much to talk about in this video today. So anyway, what was it? What was I talking about? Oh, pay. The percentage and everything. They get paid by a mile, or they get charged by the mile. Now, Choice, once they get their money from the customer, then they turn around and pay me a percentage of that rate. Okay, so it's basically, it's a percentage, and you can just figure it out what the mileage rate is. Okay, and so yeah, it's both. I get paid percentage from Choice, but they charge the customer by the mile. So by just doing some quick math, you can figure out what my rate per mile is. Okay, and it varies from load to load. You know, those empty treaders I was bringing up from Eagle Pass up to Fort Worth, that was a different rate because it was a new empty trailer, and we were getting paid for the deadhead to go down there too. Now this furniture loads, they're paid at a different rate. Okay, and if you want to find out what those rates are, buy a truck and lease on to Choice. Yeah. Anyway. So anyway, I'm heading out. I'm going to go out toward Banning, and I'm kind of running out of things to talk about. I figured I had plenty of things to talk about, but this video is kind of long, so I'm going to probably edit it down a little bit more than I had. Anyway, one of the other things people keep asking me about, weed harvest. Why didn't I go up to, or when am I going up to weed harvest? Well, weed harvest is already over. That was during early July. Kurt has taken on a lot more land. There was one of his neighbors retired, and Kirk took on most of his land. We're talking, I think, close to 2,000 acres, okay, or more. I don't remember, but it is quite a bit more acreage. And with that, he hired a couple new guys, and actually hired 3 new guys. Okay, he lost the young guy that was working for him. He lost him. He went on to work in a different business, a different field, not farming. Anyway, he gave his notice in last year toward the end of fall harvest, and Kirk all winter long was looking around and trying to find some help. And he finally found a local guy, and then he hired a couple guys from out of town. And between the 3 of them, plus Kirk, plus his brother-in-law, plus his other brother-in-law, and a cousin, and and his sister, and go on down the line, and his brother. He had plenty of help. He didn't need my help this year. He told me, so I don't think I'm going to need any help. And then he called me about 2 weeks later. He says, I think maybe I might need that help, because one of my workers, the local guy, he just told me he has to go on vacation, his honeymoon, or not honeymoon, anniversary, 15th year anniversary, 10-year anniversary, something like that. And he says, man, I got to take my wife on a cruise. And they were going to do it the previous year, which was actually their 10th year anniversary, but COVID stopped them. Everything was closed down. So they canceled the cruise line. They just moved the cruise. They says, well, if you want your money back, or we'll just move you to the next year. Well, they went ahead and say, yeah, just move it to the next year on your 11th anniversary, and we'll go then. And somewhere between then and now, Kirk hired him, and he's like, man, I've already been scheduled for this cruise. I can't turn it down now. So Kirk said, well, maybe you need to come up and work for me after all. And that's when I told everybody on YouTube that I was probably going to go up there and work weed harvest. Well, that's all good and well, but Wheat was really late this year. They had a lot of rain and a lot of cool weather, and it just took forever for the wheat to ripen up. Usually, wheat harvest is the last week of June, and by the 1st or 3rd or 4th of July, harvest is done. And this year, it didn't start until about a week after 4th of July. It didn't start until about the 9th or 10th of July in their area. So anyway, by the time wheat harvest started, that guy was back from his cruise and ready to go to work. So Kurt calls me back up and says, I guess I don't need you. So, okay, good enough. I'm doing these Eagle Pass loads, so that was all good in my book. So anyway, doggone, what was I going to tell you? There was something else I was going to talk about. I can't remember. Oh, I know. I got another package in the mail. I got another product to review. It's another flashlight, but it's not from Olight. It's a different flashlight company. So I'm going to review that, and probably in a week or so, something like that. I'll check it all out and tell you all about it. So, okay, well, I guess with that, we'll just sit there and watch a little bit more of this, and I'll just be quiet and you just enjoy the trucker life, I guess. This is what I do day to day.